You have definitely made this promise to yourself before. Tomorrow, I'm going to be disciplined. Then tomorrow comes and I hit the snooze button. Skip the workout. Put off the business stuff. I'll start on Monday. If that sounds familiar, you're not lazy, but you're solving the wrong problem. Because motivation was never meant to carry your life. Kobe Bryant knew something a lot of people will never figure out. And once you figure it out, you're going to stop waiting for discipline and start becoming disciplined. That one lesson changed my life. And I think it can change yours too. Let me ask you a question. What do you do on the days when you do not feel like showing up? Not on your best day after watching a motivational video. Not when life is going your way. I'm talking about an ordinary Tuesday when you feel discouraged and nobody would know if you quit. That answer to your question is your standard. Not your goals and your dreams, but your standard. A lot of people believe that Kobe Bryant was so great because he had so much motivation. I don't believe that. His teammates say the same story over and over and over. They would show up early to practice. Kobe Bryant was already done with his first workout. Think about that. He wasn't winning championships at 4 a.m. He was winning the first battle of the day, the battle against comfort. Because the hardest opportunity that you will ever face is the version of you that wants the easy way out. That's the opponent that Kobe Bryant defeated before he ever got into basketball. Now here's why this matters to you. Because your future won't be decided what you do on your best days, but it'll be decided on your worst days. And that's where I actually learned this lesson. Not in a basketball court, but in a basement. Long before I owned a business, I was installing HVAC systems for other contractors. Nobody knew my name. Nobody asked for me. When they came looking for the boss, they passed me. Nobody cared who did the work. The homeowner thanked the general contractor. The general contractor got the referral and the customer's next phone call. I'd quietly, invisibly pick up all my tools and just disappear. A lot of that job was hidden behind sheetrock and nobody will ever see it. I could have rushed it, saved myself hours. Nobody would have known except me. And that's where character's built. It's when they're not watching. And I made a decision. If my name's attached to it, I'm going to do the best I can. Not because somebody else expected it, because I expected it. At the time when I look back, I thought I was building heating systems, but I was actually building myself. And I had no idea that those individual situations and decisions were building the foundation for everything that was going to come later. Here's where I think that most people get stuck. They keep asking, how do I stay motivated? But it's the wrong question. Motivation comes and goes, but standards stay. That's the difference. Think about the last promise that you made to yourself. Maybe it was getting up earlier. Maybe it was going to the gym, reading every day, or maybe even starting a business. But how many times have you been negotiating with yourself? I'll start tomorrow. One day won't hurt. I'm too tired. That's the conversation. It costs you more than you realize. Every promise that you break to yourself, you teach your brain something. It's okay to break promises. And eventually, you stop believing in you. That's why confidence disappears, not because you're not capable. Because you don't believe in yourself anymore. Confidence isn't built by winning. Confidence is built by keeping the promises yourself, and Kobe understood that. Not just in basketball, in real life, when the alarm went off. There wasn't a debate when the workout got hard. There wasn't a debate when everybody else was satisfied. There wasn't a debate. His discipline wasn't based on how he felt. It was based on who he decided to be. Now ask yourself something. What parts of your life have become your non-negotiables? Not what you hope you'll do, but what you do. Whether you feel like it or not, because that's your identity. Not the one post online, the one your habits reveal. And here's the part that completely changed my life on how I look at success. The habits themselves weren't the reward. They were building something that could handle the reward. That's why people who chase quick success usually fail. They reach the decision before becoming the person who could stay there. When I started my own company, there were no headlines, no congratulations, no customers just lining up around the block, just one van, small pile of tools, and the bills just kept coming in. Some days I had wondered if I made the biggest regret bad choice of my life. I definitely wasn't waking up excited every day. I definitely wasn't somehow overflowing with motivation. I was scared, but fear doesn't get a vote. Neither does comfort, and every single morning I had to choose. There were so many bids I lost, and the phone wasn't even ringing. When the days would have been easier to quit, rather than explaining why I continued to keep going. Looking back, the business wasn't the most powerful thing that I was building, but I was building a reputation with myself every day I showed up. I trusted myself just a little more. And that self-trust became more powerful than any paycheck. Because once you trust yourself, you never need motivation to get started. You simply become the kind of person you just need to be to get stuff done. That's the real lesson, not from me, not from Kobe, but for you. The life you want isn't waiting for some kind of boost of motivation. It's waiting for you to stop negotiating with the person in the mirror. So here's what I want you to do. Not next Monday and not next month. Today, choose just one standard. Just one. Not 10 new habits, not a complete lifestyle overhaul. One promise to yourself that becomes non-negotiable. Maybe even just something simple like waking up when the alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze button. Maybe just going to the gym just only 3 times a week. Maybe it's making 5 sales calls every week. Maybe it's reading 10 pages before you go to bed. Maybe it's even just praying for 10 minutes each day. The habit isn't the point. The person you're becoming is the point. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're casting a vote for your future self. And you're proving that your word means something. Every time you break your word, though, and your promises to yourself, you're casting a vote for the guy you left behind. Most people think that success comes from one big decision. It doesn't. It comes from thousands, maybe tens of thousands of small ones. That's why your private habits eventually become your public reputation. People see the results, but they rarely see the years and years and years of effort that it took to create that. They see the championships, but they don't see you waking up early, staying up late. The successful business, but not those days when it was so quiet the phone didn't ring. The confident person versus it would have been easier to quit than keeping all those little promises to yourself. Everybody wants the visible success. Very few people, though, are willing to live the invisible years. That's why the invisible years are so valuable. If you forgot anything else I said today, you need to go subscribe. But remember this, you don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fail to the level of your standards. Motivation will inspire you, but your standards will transform you. One is a feeling and one's an identity. And identities shape destinies. 5 years from now, your life won't be super transformed from watching this one video, but it'll be determined by the promises that you kept to yourself after you turn the video off. Stop asking yourself, how am I going to stay motivated? Start asking yourself, what kind of person am I becoming from all the promises that I keep and lie to myself over? Because that's the real question. Kobe answered it. I answered it. Now it's your turn to answer it. Ordinary people building extraordinary lives. Not because they're more talented, not because they're luckier, but because they choose standards over excuses, even when nobody's watching. You will know. If this helped you, share it with people and subscribe, because the life that you want is being decided on the habits that you have and the standards that you hold yourself to.